I've lived on this street for 6 years. It's not fancy, just a quiet road tucked behind a row of eucalyptus trees in a middle-income suburb of Johannesburg. Every morning at 7:42 a.m., I leave my flat, cross over the patched-up sidewalk with the loose brick, wave at old Mr. Venter tending to his dying roses, past the empty corner lot with the termite-ridden for sale sign, and head down toward the bus stop. Same path. Same route every single day. Except, yesterday, that empty lot was still there, and today, it's not. I remember pausing completely frozen mid-step when I saw it. A white house, brand new, perfect lawn, big black windows that didn't reflect sunlight. Not a speck of dust on the walls, like it had been built by ghosts overnight. My stomach did this weird flip. You know that feeling when something's off, but you can't quite say why? That's what it felt like. I scanned the area. The termite sign was gone, so were the rusted wires. Just this house now. Sitting there like it had always been, but I swear to you it wasn't there yesterday. I stepped closer, slowly, half expecting a dog to bark or a curtain to twitch, but nothing. The air around the house was too still. Not quiet in a peaceful way, quiet like something was holding its breath. There was no mailbox, no doorbell, no car in the driveway. Even the grass looked unnatural, perfectly cut. Not a single dead leaf, almost plastic. I don't know how long I stood there, but it wasn't until a woman jogged past me, giving me a weird glance, that I snapped out of it. I asked her, "Hey, do you know when this house was built?" She looked back at me like I was crazy and said, "That house? It's been there forever." Then she jogged off. Forever. No way. I would have remembered it. I pass here every day. It was an empty lot yesterday. With that stupid crooked sign, something was wrong. That day, I couldn't focus at work. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that house. Not scary, not threatening, it's just wrong. Like a perfect face with too perfect skin, till you realize it's a mask. I even asked a few coworkers during lunch, "You ever seen a house just show up on your street overnight?" They laughed, said I needed a vacation. I didn't laugh with them. By the time I got home that evening, I couldn't help myself. I walked back to the house. The street was quiet. That golden hour glow casting long shadows, birds chattered in the trees. And there it was, still standing. The White House, except now, a light was on in the upper window. Just one. I don't know why, but my chest got tight. It was like that light was for me. Like something inside was saying, "Yes, we see you too." I went home and locked every door. That night, I had the first dream. I was standing outside the house again. But it was night, and the windows were glowing red, pulsing slowly, like a heartbeat. There were no doors, and I couldn't turn around. I woke up covered in sweat, my feet dirty, like I'd been walking barefoot. And then I noticed something even worse. There was dirt on my carpet right by the door, and my shoes were missing. The first thing I did that morning before brushing my teeth, before checking my phone, was look at my feet. They were dirty. Bits of dry grass clung between my toes. My soles were dusty, as if I'd walked on concrete or soil. But I hadn't. Right? I sleep with the door locked. I live alone. I don't sleepwalk. I never have. And yet, the evidence was their dusty footprints on my living room tiles leading from the door inward. My shoes were still missing. Just gone. I told myself I was overreacting, that I was probably tired, that maybe I had walked outside the night before and forgotten, that maybe I needed more sleep or therapy. Still, when I walked past the White House that morning, I didn't look directly at it. I crossed to the other side of the road, like a coward. But even without looking, I felt it like eyes watching through the windows, like breath pressed up against glass. And just before I turned the corner, I thought I heard a sound, a whisper, a single word. Sefako, that froze me. No one calls me that on the street. I use my nickname, Sefa, even at work. Only my late grandmother used to call me Sefa Cohen. I was a child, but that whisper had said it. Clear, like someone leaning over my shoulder. I whipped around. The street was empty. Just the White House, silent behind me. No windows open, no one in the yard. Not even a passing car. I ran out at work. I couldn't function. Every sudden noise made me jump. I kept checking my phone, checking the security camera app I had installed months ago. Maybe it caught something. Last night, maybe I had gone out, but no. The app showed nothing. Just static between 2:07 and 3:12 a.m. that never happened before. And worse, my apartment door. It had been unlocked at 2:08. When I got home, I avoided the street with the house. I took a longer route around the back, cutting through 2 other blocks. But as I turned onto my road from the opposite end, I stopped dead in my tracks. The house. It had moved. It was now 3 doors down from where it had been yesterday. I stood there for what felt like hours. The shape, the structure, everything was the same. But it was in a new location, planted there like it had always been part of the row. And my neighbors didn't seem to notice. They waved at me like normal. One even called out, "New paint job? Looks good." Hey, thought you might finally be fixing your place? My place. I turned around to look at my own apartment. It wasn't there. In its place was the White House. I don't remember running, or screaming, or collapsing. But I must have done all of those things because the next thing I knew, I was in a chair in the security office of the local police station. A friendly officer asked if I was feeling okay. Said someone had found me panicked and confused near the taxi rank, muttering about a disappearing building. I asked to be escorted home. When we got there, my apartment was back, my door, my number, my potted aloe vera plant with the dried out leaves still half dead, but across the street, the house still stood, watching, waiting that night. I heard scratching dot from inside the walls. Then a knock, 1, 2, 3, I held my breath. And then came the voice again, whispered right behind my bedroom curtain. "Sefako, you came in last night. Don't you remember?" I couldn't sleep after that voice. I sat up in bed until the sun started rising. Every shadow in my room moving just a little too much. I told myself, get out of town for a bit, clear your head. But every time I packed a bag, something stopped me. A text from work, a call from an unknown number, a crashing sound in the living room only to find nothing there. It was like the house knew, wanted to leave, and it didn't want me to. I tried to be logical, tried Googling house. That appears overnight. Hallucination house, even Johannesburg, cursed buildings. Most of what came up were urban legends, a few Reddit threads, and one link that crashed my browser every time I clicked it. The site was titled, "You Saw It Too." I finally forced myself to walk over to the White House during the day. It was 3:12 p.m. The air was hot, unnaturally still. As I stepped onto the lawn, I immediately felt cold, like I'd passed through an invisible wall. And as soon as I did, the door opened by itself. It was pitch black inside. Not dark like no lights were on, but dark like light couldn't exist there. My instincts screamed to run, but my legs moved forward, like they belonged to someone else. 1 step, 2, the floor. Underfoot was warm, sticky almost. The door slammed shut behind me. I was inside. The house was endless. Corridors that stretched longer than the house should allow. Doors that led into looping hallways. A staircase that curved upward into pitch blackness. And it was silent. But not empty. I felt it breathing. Every wall. Every surface. Breathing. The worst part. I kept seeing photos on the walls. Pictures of me. Some from years ago. Me at 14, in school uniform. Me in varsity. Some recent. Me sleeping. Me brushing my teeth. Me standing in the hallway. Last night, who took these? Why were they in this house? Kay turned a corner and found a mirror. Except, it wasn't reflecting me. It was showing a different version of me. Same face. Same clothes, but my eyes were black. Hollow, smiling too. Wide. And behind that version of me was a figure. It didn't move. It didn't speak. But I knew what it was. The house, it wasn't just a building. It was alive, and it was wearing a face mind. I ran. But the corridors shifted. The staircase bent. The walls pulsed. At one point, I opened a door and was suddenly standing in my childhood bedroom. My real bedroom. The details were exact posters, the crack in the ceiling, the worn-down carpet. But there, sitting on my childhood bed, was my grandmother. She looked exactly as I remembered her. Same faded scarf, same crooked smile. "Come, Sefiko," she whispered. "You're almost home now." I stumbled back. "No," I said. "You're dead." She tilted her head. "Are you sure you're not?" I slammed the door. The room disappeared behind it. Eventually, I found the front door again wide open this time, like it was letting me go. I didn't think. I bolted through. Light hit my face. My body felt heavy. The street looked normal, but when I turned to look back at the house, it was gone. Gone. Nothing there. Just the empty lot again. No grass. No grass. No door. No breath behind the windows. Just dirt. I thought I'd escaped. I was wrong. Because that night, I woke up outside, standing barefoot on the lot, facing nothing but holding a key. The key in my hand wasn't just old. It was ancient. Iron, cold, too heavy for its size. And though I'd never seen it before, I knew exactly what door it opened. I stood in the empty lot, no house in sight, and yet, my hand moved on its own. I raised the key like I could insert it into the air, and when I did, the door appeared. No house. Just a door frame upright in the middle of the lot, painted white, handle rusted, hinges humming softly. Like they were alive. I didn't want to open it, but I had to, because a voice inside me whispered, "You already live here now." The moment the door creaked open, everything changed. The lot around me vanished, and I was inside again. But this time, it wasn't just the house. It was everywhere. Rooms from places I'd lived before. My dorm room from university. My childhood bathroom. My late uncle's garage in Free State. My aunt's parlor in Accra. All stitched together. Nonsensical, dreamlike. Each one twisted, bent, dead, like memories forgotten and half remembered. I found a hallway lined with doors, 12 of them, each numbered, and the last one, number 13, the only one slightly ajar. From behind it came the sound of weeping. I pushed it open. Inside was a room with no walls, just void black, endless, and floating in the middle of it was me, another version of me. Eyes closed, hands folded, suspended in darkness like I was asleep in a cocoon. Then he opened his eyes and smiled. "Took you long enough." I backed away. "No," I whispered. "I'm not staying here." But the room began to close in. The void shrank. The floating me floated closer. His smile grew wider, teeth to white. "Too many. You already did," he said. "When you stepped through the door the first night, I never." "You did?" He held up my missing shoes, covered in dust, grass, stained red at the soles. "You walked in, you walked back home, and I've been keeping your place warm." He extended his hand. I didn't take it. I ran as I fled. the house began to shake. Doors slammed shut behind me. Windows shattered inward. Walls bled black ichor. The staircase bent in a loop. Gravity reversed. But I kept running. Running through my own life. Every door I passed led to moments I'd forgotten. My first heartbreak, the night my father left. The time I nearly drowned at age 7. And the worst one, the night I fell asleep with a candle burning. And the fire took everything. Even my grandmother. I had buried that night. And the house had found it. I finally reached the front door again. The real one. I turned the iron key. It screamed in the lock. And when I opened it, I was back in my apartment. Cold, shaking. Barefoot, everything where it should be. Except the White House was now across the street again. Rebuilt, stronger, brighter, as if it had always been there. And the front door was wide open, waiting. I couldn't explain it to anyone. Not the police, not my boss, not even my cousin when she called and asked why I kept sleep-talking about room 13. No one believed me. But the dreams kept coming, of walking through that door, of seeing myself to becoming something I didn't recognize. And every morning, there's dirt on my feet and a new photo in my apartment, taken from inside that house, of me, sleeping. It's strange what your mind can adapt to. For weeks now, I've lived with the truth, that I never left the house, that this, the apartment, my job, my life, it's not real. Or rather, it's a replica, a perfect copy, something the house built. For me, because the house, it doesn't let go. At first, I fought it. I checked every door, every window. I tried to leave town again, but no matter how far I went, the house was there in the reflection of car windows, in shop glass, at the end of alleyways. Sometimes it would appear behind me when I blinked. Other times, it was waiting for me inside my own mirror. The more I resisted, the more real it became. Until one night, I stopped running and walked back in. But this time, the house welcomed me. No shifting walls, no screaming. It simply opened, and I understood. I had never really left, because the house isn't a place. It's a reflection. It's where forgotten guilt lives, where broken memories rot, where pieces of yourself go when you bury them too deep. That fire, the one I caused as a boy. I never forgave myself, and so the house grew, built on shame, regret, secrets. And the moment I saw it that first night, that was the moment it decided. I belonged to it. Inside, I saw others, not people, not exactly shadows of those who had entered before, or maybe who'd always lived inside. They wore the faces of lost loved ones, dead neighbors, the missing, and each of them smiled as if they were finally home. I passed 13 doors again, each one now bearing names. Names of people I knew, some living, some gone. And one door now bore my name, Sefiko and Landla. My hand moved without thinking. Turned the knob. Inside was a single chair, facing a mirror, and in the mirror was me, but not the me you're hearing now. The version of me that smiled, too wide, that never blinked, that waited so patiently. "You're ready now," he whispered. And I sat. I sit in this chair every day now. Sometimes I think I'm telling this story out loud. Maybe someone will hear. Maybe you're hearing me right now. Maybe you'll think it's just a tale, a creepypasta. But if you ever move to a new neighborhood and you see a White House that wasn't there the day before, don't go near it. Don't. Try to be curious. Don't enter, because once you step inside, it learns you, and it makes a place for you. And the worst part? Even if you leave, it comes with you. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. If you watched till the end, please comment "end" so that we could understand you were with us till the end. As well as, please let us know where are you watching from. Before leaving, please hit the subscribe button, Comment your thought and share with your nearest and dearest one. See you in the next one. Until to the next one. Stay happy. Goodbye.